the channel, and if you're new around here, hi, I'm Mackenzie. Today's video, we're doing something really fun. We are doing a Q&A all about my most recent trip to Disney World and a couple other just fun Disney World questions sprinkled in, because why not? If you haven't already seen my most recent trip to Disney World vlogs, I'm gonna link them up above. I went to Disney World with my family for a week and we had the best time ever celebrating my parents' 30th wedding anniversary. Those vlogs were so much fun to film and edit and share with you guys, and you guys really gave us some great love and feedback on them, so thank you so much. So I got a lot of comments and Instagram DMs and stuff like that all about our last trip, just asking questions, so I thought it would be really fun to do a Q&A for you guys. If you don't already follow me on Instagram or here on YouTube, you need to. That way you don't miss the next opportunity to get your question in for the Q&A. But before we start the Q&A, if you're wondering why all of my furniture is on the ground, that is because we move out of this house tonight. My fiance Bryce, I've kind of touched on this a little bit in the videos, but he got his dream job and we will be moving in 1 month. We're gonna live with my parents in between. Our apartment isn't ready until the 1st of September. So yeah, that's happening. Get ready for a lot of moving vlogs and also wedding vlogs because we get married in 2 months. I think the next video actually you're gonna see on the channel is gonna be a vlog of my bridal shower, which I'm really excited to share with you guys. I know it's not Disney, but I told you guys I wanted to share a little bit more of my life. So hopefully you tune in for that and enjoy it because I'm really excited to share it with you. But to the Q&A, you guys really delivered, like I said, on these questions. I was not expecting to get this many, but we're gonna try to get through them all. I love doing these videos, so thank you guys so much for your questions because it's so much fun to film for me. So let's start. First question, this is kind of a big one. What was your most favorite thing you did at every park and then in general? I'm gonna go really off the top of my head on these questions. I didn't even think about them before, so this should be interesting. Animal Kingdom, I'm gonna say that we just really took time to sit and enjoy the park. It wasn't necessarily a ride or a food item that we tried that really stands out. It's just we would take breaks and just sit and enjoy the music and the vibe and the ambiance of Animal Kingdom, and I think that's something really fun that I need to do more often. For Epcot, I would definitely say my parents' first time on Guardians of the Galaxy. They had never ridden it before and they really like hyped it up in their head, I think, and their reaction to it was genuinely priceless. You have to go watch that vlog because it is so funny how they were acting after they rode that ride. Magic Kingdom, I think it's gonna be riding Tron at night. We got to ride it for the first time during the day, but my sister and I, we rode it at night and it was magical. It was raining. It was so much fun, and that's really standing out to me. And Hollywood Studios, I think I'm gonna say Alien Swirling Saucer, which I know, what? But we just love that ride. I know it's more geared for kids, but when we all get on it and we were watching each other like fall into each other, we laughed so hard on that ride the entire time, so that's just what's sticking out to me. I would say in general for the whole trip, just spending time with my parents for their 30th anniversary. I look up to their marriage and their relationship so much. It's something that I just really admire, and getting to be there and celebrate them, and the fact that they wanted to spend it with us is just so nice, and that was probably my favorite part of the whole trip. Next question is, have you ever stayed at Yacht and Beach Club? If not, you have to. It's amazing. I have not, but I would love to. I've heard great things about it, especially the pool. I really want to check that out. But next up, we have any tips to get into virtual queues. I feel like I've kind of mastered the virtual queue system. I would think the best way to do it is just to set an alarm on your phone 5 minutes before the virtual queue drops in the morning or in the afternoon. That way you're like reminded to be on your phone, and then have someone else on their phone counting down the seconds. That's what Madison does. She'll be like 10, 9, 8, and all we don't use an app. We just use that little like clock app right there, and there's a small second hand that you can kind of watch count down. I would say another thing just to remember, don't get discouraged. They do drop virtual queues again, I think at 1 p.m. so you have a second chance. It's just gonna be a little bit later in the day. Do you prefer Ohana for breakfast or dinner? If you saw the last vlog from the trip, we went to Ohana for breakfast, and I would say 100% prefer it for breakfast now. The fact that you get all those characters, Lilo, Stitch, Pluto, and Mickey, and the food was amazing. We used to love Ohana for dinner, but they recently changed how they prepare their menu. It's still the same things, it's just a different preparation, and we don't find it's as good as it used to be, but it was definitely worth breakfast. Do you have a favorite resort you stayed at? Yes. We stayed at the Contemporary on the last trip, and while I loved it, like I think it's an amazing resort, I think the Polynesian has my heart, just because we were there for so long on that trip. We really got to explore the resort and take in the resort. I love the Contemporary too though, so it's kind of a toss-up, but my favorite value resort always and forever will be Pop Century, so I have a little bit of everything in there, but probably Polynesian, I think. What do you bring for vlogging? How many batteries, memory cards, and such? And I also got another question that said, what camera do you use? I use the Canon G7X Mark III for my camera. I really like it. It's easy to carry around, easy to use. As far as batteries, I bring about 3 batteries into the park. If I'm filming a good bit of content for the day, I will go through at least 2 batteries, and then I like to just have a backup just in case. And then I usually bring 2 SD cards. I never need them, but you never know. I'm overly prepared always. Next question is, you should go to Disneyland, California. I actually have before. I lived in LA as a travel nurse, so I got to go to Disneyland multiple times. I only vlogged 1 trip of it. I'll link it up above if y'all want to watch it. But I would love to go back and take Bryce. I think he would really like it, especially like the Adventures Campus area. So who knows? Maybe we'll get back out there. Favorite ride at each park? Okay, this is just off the top of my head. Magic Kingdom, I'm going to say Tron now. I really loved it. It used to be Space Mountain, but Tron I think is just an adrenaline and fun, and it's outside and inside, it's great. Animal Kingdom, I'm going to say Flight of Passage, can't beat it. Epcot, it's gonna be Soarin'. I love Soarin', if you guys know. It's an emotional thing. It's not the best ride, it's my favorite ride. Best ride is Guardians, but favorite is definitely Soarin'. And then I think at Hollywood Studios, and do not hate me for this, I'm gonna say Tower of Terror. We rode it on the last trip and I haven't ridden it in a long time. Love it. Like, I just think it's so fun. I love the feeling of not having my stomach. I think it's so funny. Just like that little like giggle, I don't know. I just love it. Okay, Tower of Terror. That's it. Top of the head. Okay, next question. I have to sit up for this because this is a good one. Genie Plus tips and tricks. I have found that there are 2 ways that I like to use Genie Plus. The first way is to wake up at 7 a.m. Get a lightning lane for a bigger ride such as Slinky Dog. Let's use Hollywood, it's a good example. So get a lightning lane for Slinky Dog about 2 hours after park opens. Then I will go and rope drop Hollywood, but I'll rope drop some of the smaller rides. So usually what we do for Hollywood is like Tower of Terror or Rock and Roller Coaster. Then we go to Toy Story Mania, no wait. And then about that time the park is open and we go to the Millennium Falcon. You get 3 rides in and then you have a little time for breakfast. And then you can do Slinky Dog. And then after you've done your like big lightning lane, so like for this case Slinky Dog, I'll get one for either Tower of Terror or Rock and Roller Coaster, whatever one I didn't do. And then we can go back and do like Toy Story again with a lightning lane like later in the afternoon. And I just think it's a good way to do it. Knock out your big rides early and then have a rest in the hotel. Okay, and the second way that I like to use Genie Plus is just to stack all my lightning lanes for later in the day. So if I know I'm gonna have a later start to the day, I'm gonna wake up, maybe go to the park, get lunch, walk around, maybe take a pool break, and then head back to the parks at night, I'll stack all my lightning lanes for nighttime. That way it's like lightning lane at 5 p.m., 5:30, 6, 6:30, back to back to back. So those are the 2 ways I like to use Genie Plus. I mean, I have used it before where I just like book a lightning lane, book another one, book another one. I just feel like you can get more rides done if you rope drop or if you stack them for later in the day, because there's going to be more availability for later in the day. So that's how I do it. Genie Plus is so complicated for no reason, but we're learning to deal with it, I guess. Next question is, would you want to check out Marceline, Missouri, which is Walt's hometown? Absolutely, I think it would be so fun. Bryce and I are big history people. We love history. We love going places that have like historical museums or historical sites. So I think that would be a really cool like Disney experience to get to see Walt's hometown. Next question is, any advice on how to save for a Disney trip? I was gonna say Disney kind of makes it easy. I mean, they don't, because it's expensive, but I really do like that you can book your trip so far in advance. You only need to put down $200 deposit, and then you can kind of pay on your trip up until like 30 days before. So if you book a trip for like a year in advance, you have 12 months to kind of budget and save for that trip. It's kind of rare that we book last minute trips unless they're for a shorter weekend, but even then I put like my $200 deposit down, and then I'll just pay a little bit as I can with each paycheck or something, so that way it doesn't feel like it's all this money taken out of my account at once. So I do like that feature on Disney. I think if you're booking a trip like many years down the road, just go ahead and start saving as much as you can, not just for tickets or the hotel, but snacks, souvenirs, just really budgeting for those things before you go. That way when you get there, you're not surprised by how much more you're spending on all the cool merch and stuff. So that's how we like to budget. Next question is most underrated restaurant. I think I'm going to say Steakhouse 71 or the Boathouse. I really don't hear that much about Steakhouse 71. I usually hear about like California Grill at the Contemporary, but Steakhouse 71 is my favorite restaurant on Disney property. You heard it here first. I love their food so much. It is so good, such a great atmosphere. It's not super fancy, but you still can get a really good like dining experience there, and that's always without a doubt the best service I get on Disney property is there. And then I'm gonna say the Boathouse too. I know the Boathouse is pretty popular, but I just feel like it's at Disney Springs, so sometimes it's forgotten about. We had it there for the first time on the last trip. It was a really good price for how much food we got and how good the food was, so I would definitely recommend the Boathouse for sure. Next question is paying for lightning lanes worth it? This kind of circles back to the budgeting thing. If you can budget for it, I would say yes. I prefer not to wait in like 2-hour, 3-hour lines. Of course, the rides that have lightning lanes are going to be the rides with the longest wait. So think like Rise of the Resistance, Flight of Passage, Guardians, what am I forgetting? Tron. I just think it is a good investment to save you time, so you're able to do more things in the park to get your money's worth of your park ticket. Let's see, next question. I'm flying through these, guys. This is fun. Okay. What resort do you recommend staying at for a first-time Disney traveler? This is a hard one. I would say first-time traveler, you don't need to spend a lot of money on your hotel if you're gonna be in the parks a lot. If it's your first time at Disney, you're gonna wanna see everything. You're gonna wanna ride everything. So I would recommend somewhere like Pop Century or maybe a moderate resort like Caribbean Beach. You'll have access to the Skyliner at both of those and be able to get to the parks really easy. Yeah, those would be my things. I love first-time Disney trips. That makes me so excited. Next question is any favorite new food or drinks? I would say this isn't a new one, but literally every single morning for breakfast we had a Mickey pretzel and a churro between all 4 of us. I thought that was a great start to the day. It was a great breakfast. They were good. We had the salty, we had the sweet. It's not anything new, but I really enjoyed that this trip. Also, we tried the Boathouse for the first time, like I talked about. Great food, loved it. Oh, I will also say the cookies and cream cookie at Gideon's, I had never tried it. I always stick to the like original chocolate chip. So good, have to try it. Okay, had to restart my camera because my battery died. But next question is traveling as a couple, what are the best parks to do a nice romantic dinner? This makes me super happy because when I took Bryce for his first trip to Disney World, I really wanted to have like sweet, special romantic dinners together because I feel like your first time going to Disney, you think it's gonna be all screaming kids running around and like no time to like really enjoy it as a couple. But Epcot is the spot for that. We went to Le Cellier Steakhouse. It is so cozy and cute and like nice dim lighting in there. I really loved it. I would also say any of the hotels, California Grill is a little bit fancier, but it's a really romantic spot to get dinner. Topolino's Terrace at the Riviera, anywhere with nice dim lighting and a good view, I mean, that's gonna be great. But yeah, I would say Epcot would be my pick as far as a park goes. And then I would look into going to some of the hotels because they have a lot of nicer dining there and you're not gonna be in the parks with like the park attire and stuff like that. So that's what I would say. Have fun on your date night. Favorite Disney memory? I don't know. I think if I think about it, I've been going to Disney since I was 4 years old and I have so many great memories from Disney. One that stands out from when I was younger is the Festival of the Lion King used to bring down like kids and stuff for like the final song and you could like play the drums or like dance with the maracas. I remember doing that when I was a kid and that really sticks out to me and why I love that show that much. But definitely like the best memory is taking my fiance Bryce for the first time to Disney World. We had just gotten engaged a week before and so that trip was so much fun. It was like our engagement moon. It wasn't supposed to be, but it happened because we got engaged the week before. We had a hurricane come through which like closed the park early one day and made it open later. And we went to the park that morning when it opened. It was rainy, it was windy, there was no one at Magic Kingdom, but we had so much fun. It was cold, we had our little like hot chocolates, we were walking around. I'll insert a picture over here. That like moment just reminded me so much of why I love Bryce. He is so good about just being like, go with the flow. It's okay if the plans change. We can make the most of it. And that was something where like, I like to follow a strict Disney schedule. And so the park's closing early on our first trip that we just got engaged that I was so excited for, really was like putting me down a little bit. But he was like, no, it's fun. We're at Disney. And now the parks are empty. Like, this is so cool. he's the best. And that's a really great memory because it just reminded me that, you know, to him, what was special about the trip was being there with me, and it didn't matter if the parks were closing because he was having a great time regardless. So thank you, Bryce, you're the best. Next question is, favorite part about staying at the Contemporary and would you stay there again? Favorite part about staying at the Contemporary was being able to walk to Magic Kingdom. We never stay for the fireworks at Magic Kingdom anymore because we don't like waiting for the bus on the mass exodus out of the park after the fireworks end. But we were able to because we stayed at the Contemporary and we could just walk back. We didn't have to wait for the bus or the monorail. We just got to walk right back. I think that was really great for us. But would I stay there again? Absolutely. It was incredible. The incredible rooms, just great. And then being able to see the monorail every morning from the room, great. The quick service location was like 2 stories down. I got to refill my mug, so much more. Got my money's worth, great. The shopping, great. I love the Contemporary, I really do. I do think it's maybe not the best place for kids, but it was really good for our family of 4 with like 2 older adults, children. Next question is, my grandma is wondering, have you ever had Chef Mickey's as a buffet? Yes. If you don't know, Chef Mickey's is a restaurant inside the Contemporary Resort. It's a little buffet. It has character meet and greets. I haven't been since I was like 5 years old. I have a really cute picture of me in front of the Chef Mickey's logo, but we haven't been in a very long time. I will say, just staying at the Contemporary, we saw a lot of Chef Mickey's and it looked like a really good time, and the food always smelled really, really good. So might have to check that out really soon. Favorite memory from your last trip? All of our dinners together, we had such good conversation and just talking about previous trips that we've taken. Me and my sister are like in new walks of life. Like, I'm getting married, so we got to talk about my wedding, and my sister just graduated nursing school, so we were talking about her job. Just talking about all of those things and spending time together as a family at like our favorite place in the world was probably the best part of that trip by far. Next question is your dream resort that you've never stayed at. After our last trip, it's definitely the Riviera. Getting to see that resort, I'm like, this is beautiful. I love the cafe. I love their quick service. I love their outdoor area. Definitely need to get a stay in at the Riviera, and that was my first time seeing it in person, so love it. Okay, next question is favorite restaurant for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. Breakfast is gonna be Ohana, just based on the last trip alone. Loved it. Lunch, I'm gonna go with a quick service. We love ABC Commissary at Hollywood Studios. We eat there pretty much every trip, and the food is so good, and they have refillable drinks, so that's great, and it's AC, lots of seating, it's amazing. And then dinner, I'm gonna say Steakhouse 71. I love it. It's the best restaurant for me, and the best service, and that chocolate cake, I mean, it's so good. You guys gotta go try it. Okay, last question. I got this a lot, and I have been getting this a lot. It is, when is your next trip to Disney World? Are you ready to go back to Disney World? Are you itching to go back to Disney World? The answer is yes, we are going back to Disney World. My sister and I are going this December, which is super soon, and I'm so excited about. We're going to celebrate her birthday. We're going for a little long weekend girls trip, so I'm really excited for that. So be sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss our next Disney World vlog series and content coming very soon. And of course, like I said, there's gonna be lots more fun content, moving content, wedding content, just showing more of my life outside of Disney, and I hope you guys are excited and ready for that like I am. Thank you guys so much for watching and for leaving your questions and just leaving so much love and support on all of these most recent videos. It really makes me so happy, and I love interacting and getting to know you guys. So can't wait to see you guys real soon. Bye.